Are you struggling to talk to people and you want to leverage your cognitive functions and your personality type to do it a bit better? In this video, I'm going to go through the cognitive functions and tell you how you can use them or how you can feel a little bit more satisfied with them to get better results when talking to people. What's up, Game Changers? Sherman here from Geek Psychology, helping you find your true character and level it up so you can play life better. So I got a question in one of the videos in the comments section. I had to check the actual quote. So it was, what functions do I need to improve to be able to talk to people with ease? And there are tons of different approaches to talking to people, to improving your social skills. The biggest one is going to be to do it. To put yourself out there, to get experience, to figure it out because you've done it so many times. As with anything in life, the more you do it, the more you're going to understand how to do it and what's going to come up, and you're going to be able to deal with the situation as it comes up because you've experienced things like it before, right? Your mind is going to be able to generalize the patterns and say, okay, well, this is where we're going. And whether you're talking about intuition or not, it's something that happens, right? Like, as I've mentioned before, with the door that I'm pointing at that you can't see, this is a common example, but if you didn't know how to open a door because you could never generalize it, you would always approach a door and be like, what is this thing? How do I get through this? What do I do? You would bang into it, you'd fiddle around with it, and you might get through it. But because you can generalize, you see a handle and you're like, oh, okay, I've dealt with one before. I know what to do. Even if it looks a little different, even if it's made of a different material, you still know how to open it. Well, this is the same thing with relationships, with talking to people, with anything in life. The more experiences you get, the more you figure it out, and the easier you can deal with it when it comes up again. And yet, in order to answer this question here and keep things relevant to a personality type based channel, and personal growth based channel, I want to go through the cognitive functions and give you a little bit more sense of understanding of how this could be beneficial within a social situation. And if it's not in your function stack, that's fine. If it's not a character that you prefer to play, that's fine. It's something that you can build more rapport with, you can learn, you can experience more, and it's going to kind of expand your comfort zone of who you are and your identity, and you're going to learn more about yourself in the process. If you do it, if you do stuff. If you just listen to the video and then don't do anything about it, then, I mean, best of luck, but you gotta talk to people to be better at talking to people. So here we go. Extroverted Sensing. The SPs use this, right? This is like the engaging adventurer. And my pants are falling down. Engaging in too much adventure over here. This engaging adventurer type character, he's the one that goes out there and experiences life as it's going, as it's happening right now. So, as you could imagine, this is probably a very good function to have and to use to be able to talk to people because you are in the moment. You're reading body language. You're paying attention to like what this person's physically doing and what's going on around them. That's a good thing to have. Like being able to actually focus on somebody is such an endearing thing. Like people love it when you're devoting yourself to them and you're just like listening and fully into that experience. Now with it, the engaging adventurer type character is not going to want to sit there for too long and just kind of watch things happen, but you're going to be able to pick up quickly on body language. Connected to that, introverted sensing. Introverted sensing is capturing these experiences and recalling and reviewing them, right? I consider it to be the stabilizing guardian. It's stabilizing the current situation by looking into the past, and it's the protector of the lore and the experiences. And this one, actually, introverted sensing has a lot of connection to kinship details. This is something that Darian already talked about in his books as well. It's very good at like saying, okay, this is this person and this is something that they like. This is their birthday, this is hair color and, all these other like fine details about the person that you've spent experience with. Well, in a new experience, it's going to be a little bit difficult, right? Because you don't know them yet. So you don't have this experience that you can pick from to understand this person more. But you're still able to capture it and collect it and, understand this person through a longer term process. The more you do get out, the more you're going to be able to pull from those experiences with other people and kind of understand the way that things are probably going to go based on who you're talking to and what kind of a situation it is. And yes, none of these are like in silos. Just the one character is not actually a character, right? This is just a model for understanding and personal growth, right? So it's not like fully encased in this one thing. Introverted sensing is going to expand out to extroverted intuition as well. Like it's going to go back and forth. It's going to go into its past, right? It's going to say, okay, these are the things that happened before, and then it's going to connect those up to understanding what's happening now and bounce off, springboard from there. So going from there, extroverted intuition, this innovating explorer-like character, I've seen it be very good in social situations and has helped me quite a bit too, because it's able to see where things are going and kind of connect up and guide the conversation as well. Like this is kind of combined with another function too, but something that I've often done is to think of, okay, where do I want this conversation to go? And this is not just in like a seduction realm of things. This is just in general conversations. Where do I want this conversation to go? And if you're talking and you're creating this conversation, what is emerging from there is going to be a new thing, and you can constantly adjust and add little words or gestures or different actions and guide it to a different emergent result. It's kind of like watching a movie and saying, the ending, and these are the things that are happening. Well, what if this was added? What if this other action was added? What if they went over to this location? Is that going to get me towards my goal or not? Another one, introverted intuition. This is like the visioning mystic. It's kind of getting a long-range forecast of where things are going way down the line, but it's also reading into meaning and understanding, like, what is the meaning of this gesture? This necklace that this person has, like, what is that? What does that mean to them? And a lot of it, especially when combined with extroverted feeling, like the INFJs, you kind of obtain the other person's psychic mess, whether it's good or bad. It could be good stuff too. You kind of like read into the situation and you can see where all this stuff is going, what this person's actually feeling or thinking or doing this for. What is the meaning behind these actions? It's a lot of people will say it's a slower process. It's not necessarily slower. It just kind of like comes out when it comes out, from my understanding. You get insights when you get insights. You can intentionally look from different perspectives and go into yourself and say, okay, this was the pattern that happened for me when I was in this situation, so this is likely what the other person is going to experience. But it's not necessarily like an uptime, like real-time process. Right? It takes a little bit of distance, and you got to watch, and you got to play with the orb and understand where things are going to go from there. And I definitely believe that you can use this to your advantage if you spend the time kind of like dissecting what the meanings of these things that the person is wearing or doing is, and then bring that into a conversation. Bring that into, okay, well, let's talk about this thing. Let's kind of get a little deeper in this. And, in standard fluff conversation, most people don't really dig that. Like, it's just kind of like, how's the weather? The weather's nice. It's really nice, isn't it? It's nice. That's what it's like in Japan anyway. But it's, going to a deeper level is a bit difficult for a lot of people, but you can do it. Definitely. I mean, there are people like myself who want to get to a deeper level of conversation, who are intrigued with someone who has different perspectives and different ways of looking at things. Let's talk a little bit about the judging functions. So let's go with easy one. Extroverted feeling from here. This is this is the unifying envoy, the one that's out there connecting people, building bridges between people, unifying them, focusing on the harmony of the environment and whatnot. So this is a pretty good one just in terms of social situations, because it's largely based on social situations. It's based on the culture that's happening right now, and like, what do we agree with? What does everybody feel is the right thing to do? And it's from my experience, a lot of EFJs and IFJs too are very capable of connecting with people pretty quickly. Like, somebody's over there kind of feeling down, okay, I'm gonna go talk to them, make them feel better, and understand what's going on with them. And it's just like a pretty quick way of doing it. And also, extroverted feelers a lot of times share their own vulnerabilities and things about them in order to build more rapport with other people. Whether it's a conscious thing or not, it's something that happens. And when people experience this, like, okay, this person's being vulnerable with me, it's kind of easy to connect with, you know. Introverted feeling, this resonating empath. In social situations, you know, based on my own personal experience, a lot of times I'm pretty distant, pretty closed off from a lot of people. I don't want them to get too close. Despite being a feeler and wanting people to feel good, you know, and wanting myself to feel harmonious inside and all this other stuff, listening to my conscious and whatnot, it's been pretty difficult until I realized that I have a lot to give, that I really do care for people. And when I was able to make that shift and kind of reframe how I saw myself, you know, going from a rogue to a priest, going to this healer aspect and being like, well, I do have a lot of things to give to people, you know, and I can hold space for them and their emotions. And once I was able to tap into that a bit more, it seemed like a lot more people wanted to bond with me and share their experiences with me. And, you know, as an INFP, you might know that people are very willing to share a lot of the struggles that they're going through and the traumas, the pains, and things like that. And just in a social situation, it's a way of being able to let them do that. And you don't need to take it in. You know, it's not your emotion, it's their emotion. But you can help them process through it. And the last two, extroverted thinking, this strategizing commander, is, I feel that it can be pretty attractive in social situations. Whether they admit it or not, people do like people who can take control and who know what they want and go for what they want. Like, it is pretty attractive. It also could be, you know, because it's my inferior function, my anima. You know, it is kind of, there's an appeal to somebody who's going to take control of the conversation and what they want and create some order for myself. But I have seen it in social situations be pretty good. It's a little abrasive sometimes. Nothing against you guys. But I've generally noticed that other people kind of like gravitate towards that as seen as a leader, seen as somebody who knows what they want. And that is appealing, that's attractive. And the last one, introverted thinking, this analyzing adept type character. You guys are just screwed. I'm sorry. There's nothing you can... No, I'm just kidding. For me, introverted thinking, this analyzing adept type character, has always come out as something that's very attractive and appealing. I don't meet too many TP women. I have. I do find it attractive. But in terms of just normal conversation, like, I love how accurately and concisely TP thought processes work. Like, how you can be like, hold on, and this is the right word for this. This is what I'm going for. This is the concise word that's going to explain my point. I think, as you might too if you're a TP, that people don't put enough time and thought into what they're saying and their ideas. You know, it's just, as an FP myself, it might rub you the wrong way sometimes too. And your ability to do that, I feel, is very appealing, very attractive, and can be very useful and helpful to other people too. You know, when people are going through some struggles and issues, if you're able to say, do you know about this? And give them like that clear understanding of what's going on, that's a lifesaver. And that's something that's very appealing and attractive that can bring people to you. I have an ENTP father-in-law who does that very well. You know, he loves to share information and say, you know why this is this way? Do you know why this is this way? Do you know about this other thing? It's all like very technical Japanese, but he tries. And I do find that very endearing and very appealing as a way of like bonding with people. Like he's just giving me all this cool information that I can connect up and do my own extroverted intuition stuff with. So that might be something that you can lean on if you're a TP in order to embrace social situations a bit more. If you can go through a couple models and give them the right piece of information, I feel that that's extremely attractive, because if somebody knows what you're going through and can explain it better than you can yourself, then you're just like, wow, this person's amazing. This person knows me so well. Whew, I got through that one. All right, I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please let me know down below in the comments. And also your ideas and your opinions about how each cognitive function can be used within a social situation. It's not just like a one explanation, video's done type thing. But I hope that I did give you enough to kind of run with and to feel secure with yourself in a social situation and say, like, this is something that I can bring to the table. And this is why I should be accepted here, and I belong in my own way. You know, this is why the world needs me. So I hope it helped. Keep up the lifelong questing. Good luck, have fun. Peace.